name's Jenny Wigley. I work for Watercare services in Auckland. We're the water and wastewater supplier for Auckland. We had a problem of what should be the next source of water for Auckland, and then we had a university partner who said, hey, you've got a problem. We've got a solution, actually. So we partnered with them and created New Zealand's first Citizens' Assembly, which was quite an amazing process and one that we hadn't really tried in the country before. Well, it was an amazing opportunity to create something that was unique to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and it was always going to be difficult to work a multicultural project into a really bicultural governance framework, and we needed to be super respectful, engaging early and trying to understand how we can deeply infuse Māoridom into our project with all sort of understanding that we've got half of Aucklanders were born overseas. So having the citizens all deciding themselves what they wanted to happen, at the end of each day they said they came around in a circle and they stepped in and said what I liked, what I want to see next time, and they really led it. They insisted on meeting mana whenua and talking about these different sources of water and asking those difficult questions. Yes, it seemed to fall apart and then come back together sometimes. We were surprised to find, because you're trying something new, you can't be prescriptive, but you also have to pull it together. I remember thinking, it's like Spanx, it's kind of control underwear. It needs to be flexible enough to move with the participants, but also you've got to hold it together because it's kind of unraveling all the time as well. We needed to get our whole people across this. This is what we're going to try and do, a representative sample of the public, and we need to make sure that they are upskilled. So we did workshops across the city and pulled heaps of our staff along to answer questions. So we had, a room full of 40 people for 3 hours asking and answering, and in 3 hours people changed their minds. The experts in our organisation at Watercare learned actually the public, together with the diversity of the different views in the room, might actually be able to come up with a good answer, because they would have been super sceptical at the beginning. So rewarding stuff is often the most challenging. So I ended up being on the project team, the only New Zealander. So when it came to the final thing, I remember being awake a couple of nights before the final thing, and I realised, oh my God, we've got to close with a song. And no one, from our project team, other than the facilitator, was from New Zealand. And so it's the commissioning organisation. I stood up and sang the song in Māori. I'm a terrible singer, and it's just so, and just with the hope that they'd all sing back at me, and they all stood up and they sang back. It's a song about love, and it was just really quite a beautiful ending. So doing something for the first time, we did have to front up to locally elected members and a mana whenua kaitiaki forum. And so early on in that stakeholder engagement phase at the beginning, there was a sense that the question needs to be answered, but you're rolling the dice with this new thing. And also, when you're an elected member and someone comes along and says, hey, we're going to have this representative group of people make a decision, it can be quite an affront. And so they had to have a conversation. If you get the opportunity to come to this conference and doing an IAP2 submission is the way to do it, then you really should do it. It's have a think about what you really need to tell people about what was special about your project. So I don't lead with, we saved $2 billion on a desalination plant that nobody wanted, or it was really about what was unique and special about this, and then this is your gateway to coming to the most amazing conference I've ever been to.